We all have read this book. How many of you have not read this book? I think in this crowd I have to just ask the reverse. How many of you have not?
We haven't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay, so Ron.
So much about it.
Okay, so there is a movie as well called Secret, and then this book is written by Rhonda Barnes. You have read it, Rahul.
Yeah, I've seen the
movie.
video and the movies.
Yeah.
And there's another version of it also.
Right. And then there is, the next version of it as well, and then the next version of it as well. But this was the original film or the original book which gave rise to this whole manifestation hula, right? Not many people were talking about the manifestation before The Secret. And what does it say? Everything that comes into your life, you are attracting into your life, and it's attracted to you by virtue of the images that you're holding in your mind. It's what you're thinking, whatever is going on in your mind is what is attracting you. So I'm just going to pull out some nuggets, and then we will decipher each of it in the neuroscience context of it. You're like a human transmission tower, transmitting a frequency with your thoughts. If you want to change anything in your life, change the frequency of your thoughts. This is the second. And I've bookmarked all of these interesting things because all of this is nothing but neuroscience. Your current thoughts are creating your future life. What you think about the most or focus on the most will appear as your life. Your thoughts become your things. Please remember all of this. We will cut down each and every portion of it very nitty-gritty in a small little fashion. The law of attraction is law of nature. It is as impartial as the law of gravity. How many of us can escape law of gravity? Possibly, I think there are some places where the law of gravity, I think one, right, in the Bermuda or somewhere, where there is no law of gravity, but most places you can't escape that. Nothing can come into your experience unless you can summon it through the persistent thoughts. How powerfully written words, right? But if we want to look at it in the neuroscience ways, let's see the principles, let's practice. We will do some fantastic checklist and diarying, and then of course we will bring a little bit of quantum science into it, and then we will do a group meditation in the end. We'll pick up one person, if you all are game, who wants to manifest something, and for 21 days, another 21 days, and another 21 days, 66 days it takes for a brain circuit to well align and for something to happen as material this. So we will all do for that one person. Are you all game into it? Every day we will think for that person's manifestation. So who would want to be the hero for that manifestation? Anybody has an intense desire to manifest something very quickly? 66 days? Yes.
1 hour kid.
Okay, fantastic. So we are all going to have you help the kid. Okay. All are okay with that? So we will keep that thought in mind. We will practice all that we are learning today and help you guys out. Okay? Of course, with a prayer, with gratefulness, with gratitude, with all the humbleness that we will help you. All right. So how many of you don't believe in this formula? E is equal to mc squared. It was said by Einstein. What was the formula? Energy
Mass into.
and mass are interconvertible. Energy and matter, or energy and mass, are interconvertible. What is a thought? What is a, yes, thank you for saying that. And what is manifestation? Whatever you want, your money, your whatever you people ask for, right? Money and love and kid and everything. What is that? Material. Thank you. So if you have the right thoughts, then don't you think so you can convert into a material this, and both of them are interconvertible? As simple as that, right? So energy and mass are definitely interconvertible. Everything is energy. Your thought begins it as energy. Your emotions amplify it, and then your action increases the momentum. Please remember that there are three things which we keep doing all the time, and sometimes we are aware, sometimes we are not aware. First thing is thought, and then of course is emotion, and then is action. There are many people who do actionless thinking, and there are many people who do thinkingless actions. Right? So if everything is aligned, if everything is perfectly matching, and that is why it is so important for us to understand metacognition. What is metacognition? Thinking about thinking. And today we will use that principle of what is that, who is thinking, how are we thinking, what is happening in the brain as our first principle. And we have the workshop time until 12, but because of the exercises and all, I'll go through 5 steps and then 5 steps of practice, but we should be able to finish around 11:45. And I'll have 15 minutes for the question answer. All right? So let's start with this first one. I love this statement. I am a brain. The rest of me is an appendix. Appendix is like one little vestigial useless organ that you have, right? But when it pains, yes, you definitely go to a hospital. Why is this such a profound this? Because of the properties of the brain that we have. How many number of the brain cells that one single brain has? Guess. What is the total number of the brain cells that we have? Yes. Trillions is a little too much.
Billion.
Yes, billion. How many billions?
I don't know.
Guess. It's a wild guess.
8 billion,
Increase the guess.
10 billion.
More. Yes, 100 billion neurons. And every single day of my time, 24/7, if I count, it is going to take me 36 long years to count all the cells. What is the memory of the brain? Single brain. If I were to download all of that and put it into CPUs, I will have to stack up Burj Khalifa, and still it will not be enough. 2.5 petabytes. And 1 petabyte is a million gigabyte. If I were to take one brain cell, because each brain cell has a little tail, if I were to combine all the tails of every single 100 billion neuron, I'm going to start traveling from Dubai, reach Calgary 2 times, 150,000 kilometers. Don't you think so? This is all too powerful? Most brain's blueprint is laid by the age of 3. So 0 to 3, most important period in your parenting life. After that, it's just the size which is increasing. All the sensory phenomenon, all the sensory phenomenon, whatever you can see, touch, feel, everything is happening between 0 and 7. 0 and 7 is like a complete sensory laid map. And then parents are fighting, and then they say, oh, children don't listen to that. Children do listen to that. It's just that they don't have motor. There is no output, but that is the power what the brain has. Any of your parents already? They are to be, okay? Do you guys believe in that? When you're 0 to 6, and that is called the critical period of growth from the neuroscience perspective. You can do anything that you want between 0 and 6. And they are absolutely this. Let's do this exercise to understand how powerful this thinking is. So I want you to take your hands like this, okay? And then join your wrist. Put your hand like this in the Namaste Mudra, okay? Or Namaskar Mudra. And check the middle fingers. Either the fingers would be equal, or one will be taller than the other. Just shout out whatever it is. Just look at it from equal. Wonderful. Equal, okay? Equal, equal, equal. Sir, for you?
Left seems taller.
Okay, keep that in your mind. If left is taller, equal, equal. Left is taller. Please keep that in your mind. Remove your hands. Now what you're going to do is, you're going to pick up any finger for the people where it is equal, left or right, I don't care. Make it taller in your mind. If you want right, make it taller in your mind. No, you can just remove your hands. In your mind, repeat it. Right is getting taller or left is getting taller. For you, make them equal, okay? Continuously think, make a picture, make an image of that. See that your hand or your finger is already taller. Keep doing that mentally. Repeat, repeat. You've chosen your finger. Wonderful. Keep repeating, keep repeating. You know your finger? Yes. All right, keep doing that, keep doing that. By the way, this is no hypnosis, okay? Because I am not a hypnosis expert. So it is not going to happen through hypnosis. All right, let's do it again.
That's amazing.
That's good for you. You did it, you did it. What about you? You did it. You did it as well. What about you? Yeah, slightly taller for you. Right one, right? That was your chosen one? Yeah, that is. Yes, yes, yes.
It'll say.
80% of the times, this is a successful experiment. It is a neurophysiology experiment. It is not hypnosis, okay? When we took calipers and when we actually measured it, there was a micromillimeter change in the finger. How can that happen? What is the phenomena, what is happening? There's a very simple phenomena which is happening, which is called, and I like to say it as a rapper, psychoneurophysio-immunoendocrinology. Psycho, mind, neuro, brain, immuno, immune system, physio, and that is very important from your energy healing, and endocrinology, hormone. You can shift the energy, you can shift the physiology, you can shift the body's everything through the power of the mind. 80% of the times, this is a success. So it's a very, very famous neurophysiology experiment. And this is an energy and emotion map. Everything that you're thinking is not just limited to your thinking. It is translated also in the body. And this is an energy scale. So everything which is red and yellow is high. Everything which is blue and black is low. Now look at anger. How many of you, the times when you get angry, you do this? You'll obviously do that. This is your first response because all your energy is all right here. When it's low, it's all over the place, right? And look at happiness. Even love is not enough to get that entire happiness through, but happiness, yes. And look at fear. Obviously, all the fear, I am fearful, it's all we say here, heart and this. By the way, there is a new study which says 40,000 neurons in the heart. So brain cells in the heart. And then there is a connection, obviously. And then gut, we all know, right? The brain-gut axis. Gut is the most important part because 70% of the serotonin, which is one of the chemicals, is actually contributed by gut bacteria. So you need to take care of your bacteria. And then, of course, there is dopamine. There are so many other neurochemicals which comes in. All right. Let's see. What is this?
Good.
Ice cream is good. And how many of you think ice cream is good? Yes, of course. But this is it. This is not ice cream is good. Now, what just happened was there are two systems in the brain, system 1 and system 2. And this was a study which was done by Dr. Daniel Kahneman. He has a famous book. He's a Nobel Prize winning author for that book. And there are two systems. You all use right now what is called the system 1, effortless. Nobody of you thought that this could be something else other than ice cream is good. This is what we keep doing in life. Whatever comes by, we have the system 1, effortless, completely, just easy, quick response, no need for reason, no need for concentration, no need for intention. Most times, autopilot of our life is system 1. Something happened wrong, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm completely broken. Why can't I change or reframe the thoughts? Why can't I reframe the entire perspective of it? No, because that's an effort, and which our brains don't like. Because we have had this of survival as our necessity. The brain consumes the most oxygen in the brain, 20% almost, which is very big for a little brain like that, and then consumes the most energy as well, relatively, as compared to your other organs. But it is the laziest. It does not like to do anything. It likes to run in that autopilot and system 1 thinking most of the times. Let's do another experiment. I need 2 volunteers, and I need 1 timekeeper. Who's going to be a timekeeper? You want to be timekeeping? Okay, fantastic. You have a stopwatch there. I want 1 and 1, 2 volunteers.
Don't mind.
Okay, 1 and 2. Okay, yes. So I'll give you the first task. Okay, in the first task, very simple. And you're going to do the time mapping or matching, whatever it is. And then we'll see who wins. Okay. So what I'm going to show you right now, you're just going to speak out the words as is. Okay, just speak out the words and as fast as possible. So that,
Hit stop.
yeah, yes, start.
Play, red, green, play, red, play, red, green, play, red.
Fantastic. How many seconds was that?
5 seconds.
Ooh, okay.
95.
5.95, wonderful. You are going to say the colors, okay? Here you go.
1 second.
Yeah, start.
Red, blue, red, blue, yellow, red, yellow, green, red, green,
That's blue.
blue, red, yellow, blue, green.
Okay, he messed up a few times. How many minutes?
Like 21.
Ooh, okay. So this is exactly what is happening when you want to have a focused, concentrated, attentive, and this is a very simple test which we use for attention because it sounds very easy. Any of you other people want to try? It sounds easy, but it is not. So you did a fantastic job. You want to try? Okay. Start.
Red, green, red, blue, yellow, red, yellow, green, red, blue, red, yellow, green, blue.
Ah, very good. Then the last she stumbled, but good job. How much is that?
1388.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so this is the system 1 and system 2. Now we are all evolved as brains, but we still have 3 brains in our current brain. There is one brain which is at the back, which is called the brain stem. Many years back, I always remember this example. We went to exam, there was a neuropathology exam, and we were 3 candidates. We entered into the room. The professor was sitting with a brain. So I was the first candidate in, and the professor said, "What is this?" I said, "Brain." He says, "Get out." Second candidate walks in, and the same question, "What is this?" The brain. Get out. Third candidate, same thing. And we all three were sitting outside and saying, what was happening? That was a brain. And then the professor called us after the exam and said, that was a cow's brain. You should have watched it carefully. And then we said, what was happening there? Because the brainstem was this big and the frontal cortex was this small. And we have just the reverse. We have a very big frontal cortex and a small little brain stem here. So three brains essentially we are carrying. One is the brain stem, one is the limbic system or the limbic cortex right here, and then the entire brain, which is called the neo-mammalian cortex. So we go from reptilian cortex to paleo-mammalian cortex. That's a difficult name to remember. So for this entire thing, we are going to say it as a limbic system, and then we are going to say it as the frontal system, okay, or the prefrontal cortex. All the three systems are happily active right now in our systems, but majority of us are only here. When I say this, most of the times we are in the survival mode. Most of the times it's fight, flight, fear, or freeze for us. Most of the times everything is a threat because we are survival seeking organisms. We are not into the evolution. We always want to protect from the threat. We always want to save ourselves. We always want to survive. And that's a reptilian nature. How many times have you seen a lizard meditating? A lizard which is there and then, you know, oh wow, what a state of meditation, the lizard. It is not possible because they don't have the other brain to even think about that. It's all about survival, fear. I want to search my food. I want to go here. I want to go there. That is the nature of the reptilian. Exactly the same. Reptilian brain in us is always pushing our things out or saying this is not possible. Doubts, fears, all the emotions of anger, sadness, not happening, this is it, that is it, all that is happening there. So essentially we have three systems, and this is the most important part to remember in this entire thing, that this threat system relates to this limbic system, and then there is some people who have the drive system coming from this part of the brain, and then we have a soothing system also, which is part of it because there are people or there are animal systems. Have you guys seen elephant? They are so caring for their young ones. If you go near your young one when the mother elephant is there, you had it, right? Because that is where they have this soothing system, very active, and then a protection system which is highly active. Most of us are into this thing, although we are not supposed to be there because that's an animal brain. You have a small little prefrontal cortex, a large limbic system, and then we are here. We have a small limbic system and the prefrontal cortex is here. Most studies that we did for the successful people, for the peak performers, top performers, we found this very well developed. We found that both the left and the right side was just actively connecting to each other, what we call coherence. Let me see if I have a brain. It was super developed. It was very well developed, and there was a lot of crosstalks which was happening as well between the two sides. So this is how the brain looks, and this is the part of the brain which we are focusing on, which we are talking about, okay? The prefrontal cortex. Now, what is happening in your life? I just want you to think a little bit. Any problem comes in, any situation comes in, anything that happens, we have only two things to do. Either we react or we respond.
What?
Look at in your life, how many times are you reacting versus responding? If you're reacting more than responding, which system is active for you? Limbic system, exactly. If you are responding more, which means your prefrontal cortex is active. Now I'm going to show you this particular slide, which is super important. If you are in the limbic brain, then you are always in this fight, flight, freeze mode. But if you develop your prefrontal cortex, look at this. You develop empathy, you develop insight, you develop body regulation, morality, intuition, attuned communication, and fear modulation.
Limbic.
Yes, precisely. Precisely, that is the question. How do you think we can develop it?
Well, by thinking positive, manifestation, like gratitude. But that's not always easy.
Okay.
In a certain, let's say, situation, we are used, at least for myself, used more to use the limbic.
Absolutely.
And I can sense that, even though I know everything what I should do.
Correct.
I end up at that point.
Precisely. Most of us end up with that point. It's the first step, and that's why you brought a very important and interesting point. The very first step into anything at all, even before you develop, starts with an A. What is that? The first thing, at least be aware that that was your limbic response. Be aware that that was not a prefrontal cortex response. How many times you just say to somebody and then you come home and realize, oh, I should not have said that. I should not have done that. That PFC kicks in much later. That's a system too, which is taking a lot of time for you to come in. You've already done the damage by that time, right? How many relationships go completely crazy just because of your limbic activation? So good point. The first thing is awareness. And then by the end of today's class, you'll know how to develop that, right? And if you develop that, manifestation would be a part of it. It's a package deal, right? Manifestation will come.
Okay, so what you just did was watched one part of the beautiful neuro manifestation course. We have been doing this in many countries with many different people, and I have been always excited to deliver this course and these modules because this is super interesting. You want anything that you have dreamt in your life, right? A great job, a great profession, great relationship. This is all super easy provided you understand the inside out process of it. Provided you understand how your brain is working, how your brain is functioning. There are lots and lots of steps into this entire process of neuro manifestation. Yes, the universe is all there, and we agree that universe is ready to provide all the things that you want, you desire, you really dream for. But caution, are we prepared? Is our mind and the brain prepared? Are you doing the right things to make it prepared? And believe me, I always joke and I say neuroscience is like mathematics. It's all knowing the formulas. And whatever I teach here, I have always been the number one subject and number one experimenter on myself first, so that I can give you the best of the entire series, what you can have in the neuro manifestation. So hang tight. More details are in the course below. I want you guys to have a look at that course and then practice, and I'm sure one day you will have that dream life that you have desired for. This is me, Dr. Sweta Adatia, always here to be with you, bringing out various aspects of neuroscience for daily life on the Limitless Brain channel. Hang tight and see you soon.